This is WWE superstar Drew McIntyre, and you're listening to the WWE Podcast.
The champ is
the one that everybody wants, me.
Becky Lynch is going to WrestleMania. Claymore!
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass. This is my iron. You're gonna acknowledge me.
What is going on, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Main Event Review. Thank you very much for tuning in on this episode today. For those that do watch Main Review on a regular basis, I'm talking the show, not the podcast, there is actually no episode to review today. It was a full year compilation of all the main event matches that occurred throughout most of the year, just the main highlights. So I thought I'd do something a little bit different on this main event episode and pretty much want to wrap up everything that's happened on main event and some just key highlight moments, I guess, that have occurred. So don't think this episode will be very long. Honestly, it's not something I've prepared for either. Just went on main event today, tried to watch a few of the matches and give my sort of favorite match across the whole main event rosters throughout the whole year. And then also pretty much capping off, I think, the final year before we get to January and Royal Rumble begins and everything else sort of kicks on for WrestleMania. So I guess I do want to start with probably the best crowd reaction on main event. And that was most definitely, and I'm not trying to be biased here, but it was Grayson Waller in Australia, in Perth, taking on Rey Fenix in a match that was a really, really good match as well. And it was actually awesome to see Grayson Waller being on main event. I would have preferred that he was on either SmackDown or Raw, answered Sami Zayn's open challenge, which would have made more sense there. But he ended up taking on Rey Fenix, and he did end up winning the match there with an interesting sort of finisher, as I've mentioned previously. It was like a nothing but net sort of 360 finish, which was really good. And yeah, since then he hasn't been able to really get on the main scene. He's been doing stuff with the New Day, but there's nothing really going on for him, which is a shame because I think he's got the characteristics to be a very good heel. I've mentioned it on several occasions. I'd love for Grayson Waller to be, I guess, The Miz for the future. And people might not think The Miz is a legend or whatnot, but he is a two-time Grand Slam champion, and he was a very good heel in his time. He's certainly not one of the best we've ever had, but he's definitely up there, and I really think Grayson Waller could reach up to the levels of that. I miss his show, The Waller Effect, as well. I think they could definitely bring that back as well. And I just love to see someone that's got pure Aussie pride, and he represents everything about Australia in negative and positive ways as well. But I think that match for me was probably the, I guess, best match, and in terms of crowd reactions, the loudest crowd reactions of the year for main event. Then we have the most featured on main event, and that's talking about the Alpha Academy. So we've spoke about the Alpha Academy, I think, every single week. They're a feel-good fun team, I think. Well, while they continue to be in WWE, they're probably just going to be into backstage segments and promos. And when I'm talking about Alpha Academy, I'm more talking about Otis and Akira Tozawa. Maxine Dupree herself has taken leaps and bounds this year and is now currently the Women's Intercontinental Champion. So good on her for that. So I would say that next year, the Alpha Academy will probably continue to be on main event, be the staple, just get the crowd going, get them energized, and just bring some exciting moments as they normally do. They're a fun and sort of, I guess I would say, careless team. You know, Otis has a laugh with the worm. Akira Tozawa is the little small guy that gets thrown around by Otis. So I don't think that that's going to change anytime soon, if I'm honest. So I think, they've been on main event every week, and they'll probably continue to do so as well. But they were the most appearances. They had the most appearances on the main event show in total as well. The next one would be the biggest surprise main event appearance. And I would have to go Damian Priest for sure. Him being on a main event card was not something I ever expected to see. And the fact that he was on there was simply crazy. And, well, he won the match. He beat Kid Wilson. But at the end of the day, I don't think a person like Damian Priest should be on a main event show. Like, he went on there and then he ended up opening SmackDown the other day. Go check out my SmackDown review, by the way. But yeah, that was a nice, nasty surprise for me, just seeing Damian Priest there. And hopefully we don't see that next year. Superstars of his level being back on main event as well. And the same for women's. I will go Stephanie Vaquer. She did take on Ivy Now and got the victory. But the only difference between these two was that when Stephanie Vaquer joined the main roster, she had her main event run. And that was like literally, I think, a one-off from what we saw from Stephanie Vaquer. And I think it was a good way to enter her into the main scene and to give her a chance to compete on main event. But I don't think she's going to be near main event anytime soon. I think she's got a very good, stable place on Monday Night Raw. She's currently the Women's World Champion. And yeah, I definitely think it's going to stay like that as well. So those are like my sort of final takes on main event. The matches that occurred, if you did want to see the actual show, we had Rey Fenix and Grayson Waller getting the victory. We had OTM and the Alpha Academy with I believe the Alpha Academy getting the victory here. And then we had Stephanie Vaquer take on Ivy Nile. You can see where the trend is coming from. Stephanie Vaquer getting the victory. And last but not least, it was the Machine Guns taking on, as I bring it up, Thraxium, which was a pretty back and forth match as well. Again, sometimes on main event, you got two baby faces going at it with each other. And that's sort of, at the end, they all raised their hands up. But the Motor City Machine Guns got the victory for that one. But yeah, I don't know about like what's going to happen with main event next year. The only thing I do know for sure is that the Alpha Academy will continue to be on there. So excited for another year of main event. So you could call this like a little bit of a wrap up, just a small episode to come in. I'm not sure if they're going back to normal episodes next week, but if they are, I'll definitely bring one out, or else I'll be posting when the next episode comes out and we go back to normal. But yeah, just a quick little episode to sort of just give you a small recap. Thank you very much for tuning into it. If you guys do celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas to you all. Hope you guys have a Happy New Year. Here in Australia, we celebrate a summer Christmas, which is quite different. So we usually have our Christmas during the day, and we normally have like a barbecue going off. And a lot of people say shrimp on the barbie, but I've never had a shrimp on the barbie in my life. But yeah, the barbecue's on and everyone's sort of in shorts and t-shirts rather than sweaters and at night. So yeah, that's sort of our Christmas, but Merry Christmas to everyone. If I don't hear from you next year, have a lovely new year, and really excited to bring back main event episodes once again in 2026 in what will be hopefully a big wrestling year on the calendar. This year was good overall, I think, if I bring up the other stuff, main shows, but obviously it was centered by John Cena's retirement tour, and I think now that that's out the way, and it is sad that John Cena's gone, we'll be able to more focus on main storyline too. Hopefully Triple H can learn from his booking this year, because I think there was a few that were overhyped and a bit disappointing, and hopefully if The Rock does come back, he actually does something and doesn't ruin storylines either. But overall, it's been great to see all the superstars perform as well. You know what? Why not? I'll do men and female superstars of the year. For me, I'm giving my male award to. It would have to be either Gunther or Bron Breakker. I think Bron Breakker would be most emerging, but it'd have to be one of those. And for the women's, I would give Tiffany Stratton. Given her run this year was pretty spectacular until she did drop the belt. And a close second being Stephanie Vaquer. But yeah, that's it from me. I'll catch you guys next year. Once again, thank you very much for tuning into these main event episodes. I hope you've been enjoying them. And take care.
Thanks for listening to the WWE Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app. so you don't miss a show, or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE Podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.